I'll get bored and we'll start. We got some motivating to do. Thank you. Hi, George.
Hi,
And
everybody.
Laura. And I said hi to Nelson, but he's muted, so. Gave me a salute. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel important. Joe's here. You guys are all the motivation kings and queens. What do you need to know about this?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to start getting ready to share my screen because of this morning it took me a while. Share. Yeah. Beginning. Whoops. Now, can you see that?
No.
Oh. No.
I can see you. I can't see anything.
I don't want you to see me. That's no fun. Let's see.
You're dressed warmly. Is it cold where you are?
It was this morning. I haven't had time to change. Now, can you see this screen coming up?
No.
No.
Okay. Nope. All right. I'm going to do this differently. Stop other participation sound share. Do you want to? Oh, are you sharing your sound, Amy?
I've stopped it.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
should be able to share. But we had the app going when we started.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, what do you see?
I can see your Zoom window.
Okay, we're getting closer. Now, can you see that?
It's not, there we go. There's your PowerPoint.
I'm getting there. I just have to hit all the right buttons, you guys. I'm a little challenged here. Now, can you see?
If folks would put their name and clubs in the chat box so we have a record of who's here.
Oh, thank you for that, Amy. Amy is my lovely co-host, and she'll be leading a forum next month on difficult conversations. Not that anybody ever has any of those. But this isn't the one I wanted you to see.
No, that looks like an RLI. It looks like old curriculum.
Okay.
Saw it in your recent for a second. There you go.
Am I getting there?
Looking better.
Is that it?
Elevate your club. All right, I'm muting.
All right. If everybody will put your club name in next to your name so that we know who you are, and you can look later when you see the video that we'll post on YouTube. Okay, so today I only have about 7 slides to share, maybe only 5, I don't know. We're going to be talking about motivating volunteers. Okay. And it's something that we have to think about all the time. I love this quote. I can say it in my sleep. I was waiting for some sort of a reaction. Now I got it.
Ziegler, that's for sure.
Yeah. And you know, it's so true. We think, I motivated you yesterday. What's your problem? Get back to work. It doesn't last. But there is one secret that I want you to know that is probably, you're going to want your money back from this forum.
Whoa.
So you want to just check out now, I don't blame you. Or is there some other way to think about motivation? What do you think I mean by that? You can't motivate volunteers. And you can unmute and have a popcorn conversation. I just want to hear what you think because I know you know something.
Maybe we need to lead and show by example for volunteers.
That would be a good start, huh?
Yeah.
I kind of
Anybody-
think people need to motivate themselves.
Bingo. You're close, Laura. People
Or
do
maybe
motivate
it's a
themselves.
group thing. I could think
Or
of something
visioning sessions
inappropriate to
when,
say, but it's a group thing. Groups motivate themselves. I
right,
don't
right.
know
If you're all
that I can make
focused,
anybody else do anything.
if you're all focused on a certain vision, um, you know, then you motivate yourselves. Or if you're motivated to do something, you don't need anybody else to motivate you. But what happens when somebody comes in and tells you what to do? Are you motivated?
That can be demotivating.
Huh. That kind of sucks, huh? So as a leader, we're trying to motivate people, and the last thing you want to do is tell them what to do. So I had a friend when I was in National Speakers Association who ran a company called the Nova Group in New Jersey, I think. And she asked 5,000 or more employers and 5,000 employees to rank these 5 motivators. Rank them by what motivates you the most. So we're going to stop there, and my lovely co-host has agreed to put a poll up. Do I need to unshare?
No, I think I can do the poll, but I don't know if you mean to be in presenter mode, but you're in presenter mode for us. And so,
Well, I'm not.
but I'll launch the poll while you figure that out.
Thank you.
So you could pick up to 3 on the poll. please.
Okay. You're going to get to choose 3 things. What 3 are the most effective motivators?
I feel like I should play some Jeopardy music or something.
This poll looks more like for people working than volunteering.
My point. We're not to volunteers yet. This is if you were paying people. You're the boss. You're the CEO of this huge, fabulous company. What motivates your
Oh.
employees?
Well, definitely appreciation.
I don't know. Now, don't cheat and tell everybody. I don't know why I'm not being able to fix this, Amy,
You may have to take it out of
but
present. So there's a check.
I'll just have to be in presenter mode. Now it won't even go.
Do you see the checkbox next to use presenter mode? Right above, it's the third little section under monitor where it says automatic. There's a checkbox for use presenter view. You may just have to toggle that off. Go down a little bit. There you go. Turn that off. There you go.
Did that do anything?
And then now you have to restart the slideshow. It doesn't look like it actually started. Go to current slide.
I know.
slide. Or from beginning, one of them should work.
I know it.
I'm gonna end the poll. 100% have answered.
Okay, so appreciation. I want to see what the top answers were
I'll
is what
share
I'm
them.
looking for.
Here's the results.
Interesting work and feeling in on things. Promotion. Okay. You guys did amazing. Why is my whole computer just jammed up? It's not.
You want to stop sharing for a second and see if that
Yep,
gives more
that's
bandwidth?
exactly what I'm going to do. Stop share.
Thanks for bearing through the technical
Go
difficulties.
back. Yeah. Nope. Slideshow. Tell me if I'm getting close. Do you still see the presenter mode kind of thing?
You're not sharing right now.
Erg. I can't even find my, I can't find where you guys are. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, share. Bruce Allen, are you feeling sorry for me? I know I've seen you go through this too.
Do you want me to take over your meeting for you, Chris? Help you along?
Yeah. Can you see
No.
that?
Right
Yeah,
now I see your
can.
windows.
Huh?
I see your
Yeah.
windows. I don't see a slideshow yet.
Okay.
There it is.
Really?
Well, we can see that you're sharing your screen, but we don't see the slide. We can just see that they've popped up because we're seeing the whole screen, but we're not seeing the PowerPoint yet.
I only have one more slide, so it's just like I'm about ready to just show you a picture of what it looks like. Because I'm getting frustrated. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Good call.
Okay.
This would be a good time to fill in with membership.
You're not stealing my thunder, dude. So what happened in the business world is that bosses overestimated the things that would motivate their teams, their employees. They thought things like job security and good wages and promotion and growth. One of you, a bunch of you guys said, were the top motivators. And what they thought were the least motivators were interesting work, appreciation, and feeling good on things. Now, that's where you guys, being volunteer leaders, know so much because those are the top three things that employers didn't realize were so important. So, what I want to talk about for the rest of this time, where I don't need a slideshow, is how do you find out how to appreciate people? How do you find out? Because is it one size fits all? Do we just all bring them? Do we take Pat Mickleberry up in front of the room and embarrass him in front of everybody and laud praises all over him? Look at him. He's going, don't even try it. Do we take Bruce Allen up in front of the room and give him a big badge that says he did good?
I would like to nominate the decision to make Patrick first.
No, but you see what I'm saying is different people want to be appreciated different ways. So appreciation is number one. And what does appreciation cost us?
I
And
do
you can't
not,
say thing.
Thank you, George.
Well, unless you're buying somebody dinner, it
Right,
might cost something. Maybe that's a good way to appreciate your outgoing president is to buy her dinner
right,
or something. I mean, yeah, sometimes it does cost money. I think we need to
right.
be upfront with that.
Mike, Mallory, I gotta be careful with my mics.
Yes, too many mics.
No, not too many.
I think appreciation is somewhat connected to recognition. That if other people, like other people in your club, for example, can see that the person's being recognized because of something that they did, a volunteer activity that they did, for example. So
Mhm,
that's both, you're using recognition to show appreciation.
mhm. And I think that some people love that recognition and some people don't. You know, they just want to be thanked quietly in the back room and they'll keep working. They're motivated to keep working that way. How do you find out how certain people are going to want to be appreciated or recognized? How do you notice? How do you figure that out?
Yeah, ask
Is
them.
it rocket science? I want somebody who hasn't spoken yet.
Just
Oh,
to pay
Tim, I'll pick on you.
Thank
How do
you.
you figure out what would motivate Amy?
Well, so you could ask some people that know the person well. Uh, because if to your point, you don't want to embarrass them. So if you don't know them well enough, you could ask somebody that's a friend of theirs. Uh, how do you think they'd like to be appreciated
Uh-huh. Or recognized?
or recognized? And others, you can tell you have a gut instinct that
Mhm.
how they would. And sometimes like we just had a nice kickoff party, and the ladies that did a great job that organized it. So we recognized them at the next club meeting, and they enjoyed that and appreciated that. So it's just the type of person uh, that appreciates that. Everybody likes to be thanked, so you can thank them. But there are other people that maybe like a little bit more. So it's
Yeah,
up
you
to each of
know,
them.
I made up this old saying. Yeah, it's old because I'm old. Nobody ever goes to bed at night feeling overappreciated. What do you think about that? Marty, how do you know how to appreciate certain people? You can unmute. Spill it.
Not gonna lie to you, I'm probably the worst in this group right now that knows how to do it. I lead
Say
a
that
lot.
again, you're echoey.
I said, I'm probably the worst person in this group of people to ask. I lead a lot of construction workers and I am terrible at appreciating people. I will straight up tell you that. So
Well, what do the construction workers that you interface with, what do they do on their spare time?
it's a wide variety of people that do everything. Hunt, fish, some golf, some work on their hot rods, some farm and ranch like I do. It just each person's individual, they're all a little bit different.
Yeah, but you can tie into one of the, if they like to fish or if they like to golf, you can tie into those things when you're appreciating them, right? Give them well, I don't want to spend money, but a sign that says the world's best golfer or world's best duffer. Some people have really close family ties and they like to have, you acknowledge to their family that they're really doing a big job for you and helping you a lot. And that's something when I look at Amy and I see her family photos with her 20 some odd gazillion grandkids, my first clue was that she's into family, and so anything that revolves around her family is a good way to appreciate her. Am I right, Amy, or is that just a wild ass guess?
Pretty close.
Robbie, how about you? What do you see for how to appreciate people down in Lakeview? Not that Lakeview is so unique, right? But you're muted.
I know. My quick
Okay.
unmute is not quickly unmuting. I think once you get to know people, that you will have an idea of how they like to be appreciated. So I think getting to know people is key.
It is building that relationship, right? Brannigan, you have anything you want to throw in besides, I know I could give you a picture of your dog and you would love me forever. Like that one I sent you with me having her on my lap.
That's right. I love that. I mean, me personally, I mean, I own a gym, so I have a bunch of employees, and so it's kind of difficult to show each and every one, appreciation. But when I do, I think I bring it back to, it is personalized. I think it is something that people will receive differently. And so for me, I try to do it not on I want to say regular basis, but, even in passing, I just tell them verbally, I appreciate you, and even like for the holidays, I'll do a card and a little gift card in there just for the holidays. But I mean, on the day to day, it's usually, I just tell them verbally when I see them, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing
And
what you
tie
do.
it into something specific, maybe that they did.
Sure.
That's that
Yeah, I think,
sets
Chris,
them apart.
I think everybody likes a thank you.
Yeah,
So if you don't know, thank you, everybody
is a good
appreciates that.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
especially
like remember when everybody was going to do this new thing to build relationships and we all said, have a nice day with a little smiley face. And pretty soon that got so old because it's like, shut up. I'm not having a nice day. Don't give me that.
That's funny. Yeah.
But appreciation. Let's see. I was just going to call on George. You're hiding down there in the bottom of my screen, nice and quiet.
On my screen, I'm up in the top center. I was trying to,
Oh man,
almost trying to hide. I had a couple thoughts. I want to build on one thing that Tim had mentioned when you had asked, how do you recognize people? And some thoughts were, you ask people who know them. Maybe you have intuition. Sometimes you can even ask the person themselves, and you can ask in a real subtle way. You might say like, hey, you've done some great stuff. I was thinking about recognizing you at the club on such and such. Are you okay with that? I'd like to share this or something or other. So yeah, directly, because sometimes it's difficult. Like you said, I know there's members of our club who rather be behind the scenes. They may donate a large sum of money and they don't want anybody to know, but maybe what they don't want to know is the sum. So you could say a thank you, but then what they don't want is like a bright spotlight on them.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing
Good
I was
point.
thinking too is one thing you mentioned, Chris, is you're saying, I think it was Patrick had mentioned, or different ways of, hey, I've got some people who golf, some people who do this. And you said, well, we don't really necessarily, not looking for a monetary answer, but we can always go to a golf shop and you just tell them, hey, I've got a member who's done this amazing thing. I'd like to appreciate them. Can I get a gift certificate? So you can still give a reward and not, actually end up having to pay for that. We've got members who have, are associated with wineries. We can get a free bottle of wine and give them something like that without actually costing us anyway. So anyway, there's a lot of different ways to show that recognition.
Well, another thing you're piggybacking on, George, is that building the relationship piece. Because if you have the relationship with the winery or the golf shop, because if I walk into a golf shop, they're going to go, who are you? And what do you think you're trying to get something free out of me? But somebody that golfs that has that relationship, then that's a little bit easier. I want to pick on one more person before I'm going to pick on two. Mike McGowan, you've been nice and quiet and well behaved. I can't stand that.
I was hoping I could get a nap in.
You're hoping what?
I was saying I was hoping I could get a nap in here from it. No, Chris, I think the way to appreciate someone is to make sure it's about them and it's not about you. Because I think a lot of times, what we tend to do is to appreciate in the way that's valuable to us. And, so
Yeah.
if to use the wine shop situation, maybe I have a relationship with a friend who sells wine. And so I go get a bottle of wine that's nice and hard to find, and I give it to someone, but that's more about me or my friend at the wine shop might be than about the person who may or may not care or appreciate the kind of gift. So I think, if you really want it to be meaningful, you need to start with the person who's the recipient of the appreciation and make sure you know what it is meaningful to them. Here in our company, Robbie and I have employees who, might be really quiet and they don't necessarily want any recognition, but when they accomplish a very hard task, maybe something new or something creative that they came up with, you appreciate that thing because that's the thing that's important to them and appreciate it in a way that's meaningful for them. And that's enough. You don't have to broadcast it or, take an ad in the paper. They don't necessarily want money. They just want you to recognize the effort or the difficulty and say thanks for that thing because it's for them. It's not what they did for you. It's what they did for them. And if you do that with volunteers, I think, they'll keep coming back. And I think the other thing is trial and error. Don't be afraid to fail about your recognition because you might try something and think, wow, that didn't really seem to go over very well. They didn't like that bottle of wine. Well, maybe they didn't like the bottle of wine, but that doesn't mean they're ungrateful or that you shouldn't appreciate again, in a different way. It just means that, give up the wine dude, try something else. And so that's how we think about it.
Thank you. Well, that's a perfect segue because I'm going to tell any of you, if you've got a good bottle of wine and you want to appreciate somebody, our district governor loves good wine. Nelson, what would you add or contribute to this discussion about appreciation of people, volunteers?
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
And this session here today is a great example. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Chris. Never stop learning. We're never already all the way there. Things change, people change. We evolve, right? So never stop learning.
Thank you, and well said.
Hey, Chris, I had one more thought too.
Okay.
It was something you had mentioned. You gave an example of something that people say automatically, and after a while, like "Have a nice day" or something. So I was thinking about that statement where people say like "I appreciate you," or I think a few years ago, the first time someone at work said that to me, I hadn't heard it before.
Yeah.
It felt sincere. It was new, and I'm getting this is a personal thing. It could be different for everybody. Now I've heard so many more people say that. It feels like this automatic, it doesn't feel sincere. It's kind of like somebody automatically saying, bless you when you sneeze. So the most important part of appreciating recognition is to make it authentic and sincere. If it becomes automatic or part of a process and everyone knows it's part of the process, it's done the exact opposite.
So perfectly said that leadership's not easy. It's not one size fits all. What worked last Tuesday might not work today. So as leaders, we have to keep being creative and trying new things. That's part of leadership. And so don't be afraid to fail is exactly right. Let's move into interesting work. Now that's something that when I ran a group of visitor attractions, we had somebody that had to clean the toilets. Talk about interesting work. Wow. I can't wait for my job today. I get to go make the bathroom look pretty. But you know what? We talked in our staff meetings about how important it was to the consumer, to the visitor, that we had clean restrooms, right? And so we all got involved in, appreciating the person that did that work in finding ways to keep our interest in their work up so that they would find their work interesting. What can we do to give our members interesting work? Let's say you're looking for a certain board position to fill. Let's say it's the treasurer. And our first thought is, oh, I'm going to go find a bean counter. I'm going to go find a CPA because they love counting stuff. And we're going to ask them to be our treasurer. How's that work?
No.
Donna, you're laughing. What are you laughing about?
Well, I think that most of them would like to do something else on their off hours. So, and there are other people that are good with finances that don't do it as a day job. So
Isn't
I
that
think
true?
Yeah.
You have to be careful with those assumptions, don't you? How can you find out what people are interested in? Tim.
Ask them.
Ask them.
Isn't that true? You know, when I worked in a business corporate setting, I would ask people what they did as a hobby. Because that's what they do for no money, right? You don't get paid for your hobbies. But that would give me an idea of what they like to do. If they're stamp collectors, ooh, they're into detail, focused things, and maybe they would be a good treasurer. So how can you take asking people about interesting work and matching what you learn about them to the things you need to fill as a leader? You've got positions you need to fill in your club, in your team. How do you figure out what's interesting? Joe, you've been awful quiet, and that's unusual. So let's unmute you and see what you're thinking.
Chris, that's a very good question. I think there's some processes that many clubs follow when they're onboarding new members to discover what kinds of things might be particularly attractive to new club members, so that they can match them up or guide them toward a particular committee that might especially pique their interest. Sometimes giving people, I think, in that sort of situation, more than one option is very helpful, so that they can, for instance, maybe attend a couple of different committee meetings, or attend a club board meeting and hear more about what everybody has to report and what kinds of activities they're engaged in. So there's a lot of ways, I think, in Rotary that we can gather up that information. It's mostly a matter of asking and listening.
Yeah, thank you. Good deal. Patrick, I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to listen.
Well, I've been thinking about it just for our PE positions lately. I've had clubs struggling, and I think part of it is, the lack of interest in volunteering. So I was kind of wondering what would motivate some people to take in the PE position, and the asking just wasn't enough. So I don't really have an answer, but I have the problem. So
yeah. Anybody want to reflect on that? Mike does, but you're muted. There you go.
Yep. Chris, I think that sometimes the problem is that we frame the question incorrectly. So if you're looking for someone to be your treasurer, and you just say, hey, Joe, would you be the treasurer? My view is Joe is likely to say, yeah, I don't think so, because maybe Joe's idea of what the treasurer does or is supposed to do or can do is negative. But if you said to Joe, hey, Joe, I need someone to make this club financially secure in a 3-year period, and that involves, fundraising, accountability for funds collected, designing, learning new software, designing, some kind of a check and balance or audit process, and you make the job description different than just saying, hey, would you be my treasurer? and don't answer me today, but think about whether or not you can contribute in those ways, become a hero in a job kind of your own creation. Then I think Joe's more likely to say, whoa, I get to learn a new kind of software. If it's not the right software, I get to recommend a new software to the club. And I can be that financial hero 3 years from now. We could have corrected our finances or whatever. And then Joe will create the details of the job structure that makes it more attractive for him, which is unlikely if you just say, hey, would you be the treasurer?
Right.
So reframe the question, reframe the opportunity. Don't require an immediate answer. Allow them to come back and say, hey, if somebody were to do the treasurer's job, how would they do that the very best way? And then make them a hero in the job that they've created. And that way, I think you're more likely to get people to respond to a need or to your request.
I've heard a lot of people say that. What, Amy?
I said I wanted to jump on that because I think that is a brilliant answer. We had a situation where our financial person was very frustrated by rapid response check requests and needed to process payments twice a month. That was it. But we have families in crisis. And so when we started thinking about, this check could be the difference between a 72-hour notice and eviction or going to sleep in a cold house because the heat bill isn't paid. And he was dubbed a hero to families. He started writing checks every single day. And then that morphed into realizing that the social service providers, they get mileage reimbursements and they don't make a lot of money. So getting them mileage requests paid right away became a priority because he was helping put gas in their tanks. And so I think in Rotary, we could start thinking about, like, if you needed a treasurer, think how important grants are and grant management and the accountability and the keeping all the records and receipts and getting those checks paid quickly really change the outcome of a grant and the ability to get a future grant. So you could really, that making someone help you be a hero, I mean, that's really smart and beautiful. Thanks, Mike.
I love it. And I also love the fact that everybody that joins Rotary wants to serve. I mean, that's service above self. That's what we're all here for. But a lot of times when members think about service, they think about a project. I'm going to go deliver food boxes, or I'm going to put stuff in the food boxes to somebody else to deliver. But think about the club service, serving the club so that the club can serve our people. That's really important too. And I've found that helpful, is just to engage them on the fact that what are they serving? Who are they serving? They're serving the people so they can serve the people.
Chris?
Yeah.
One thing that, a couple things. One is, since I went to your membership meeting a few years ago, we're starting a mentoring program for new members. So we have a mentor that has hopefully similar interests, but at least somebody that's going to stay with the new members and get to understand what they like to do, and then get them to point them to the right committees. And the other thing for these officer positions, and I share Patrick's frustration. We don't have our president nominee for next year. And but one thing that seems to has worked for a couple of positions is you kind of play on the person's ego a little bit and say, you've been, the board has met and we've all decided that you would be a perfect candidate to help us in this position, and just kind of play on that and see if that works. Doesn't work all the time, but it can help.
Whatever you tried yesterday, try something different today, right?
Chris, one other thing on the officers. This is George. So,
thank you.
We were struggling getting a president nominee to follow. Well, actually, we got our president nominee for next year after me, but we were trying to fill out a longer term succession plan, because if you want somebody to be president nominee in a couple of years, you want to get them on the board today and you want to get them training. And we had a bunch of people who would kind of hem and haw, like, oh, I might be interested, but timing's bad. And what we realized is people didn't fully understand the details of the ask. Like you said, if you leave with, Michael gave an example of it, explaining what the ask is. What we did just recently is we set up a informal get together with people we saw as potential leaders of our club with some of the past presidents, a couple of those in the succession plan today, and just set up like, ask us what you want. I gave them like potential, like one thing on everybody's mind, how much time does this take? And we just had a couple canned questions and kicked off, and we spent an hour and a half, and they loved the meeting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have those annually just before, like in October, I own setting up the next one, since in December we vote and actually have to have the candidates for the next year already. We want to be having those every year, bring in some new folks, and they can hear candid answers from multiple people and ask any question they want. And it really filled in a lot of that like fear and unknown, I think, for some of those folks.
That's a great idea.
Sounds like the emerging Rotary Leaders Program, doesn't it, Nelson?
Yeah.
It's highly motivating.
Only on a club level.
Yeah, on a club level. It's highly, highly motivating, right? You're selected to be in a smaller group. It's very flattering. And then you get a chance to ask all the questions in the context of something that's fun and rewarding.
Yeah, I think my take is everyone who was in that potential leadership probably left feeling more confident that they could do it or might do it than they did coming in. More fears were alleviated than created.
And then that piques the interest in doing it.
Yes.
Too.
And it's already
and that's
building relationships.
Where we're trying to go.
And building relationships among them. I mean, they're looking around the room at, they are going to be the board in a couple years. Yep.
Good deal. Donna, do you have anything you want to contribute?
I know in my particular situation or in our club, we are very small. And the only way it would work this next year for me or for anyone in our club at this time was to co-president with a past president. They originally spoke about two co-presidents, but without one of them being a past president, it didn't seem really all that successful.
Mm-hmm.
Or like me, for example, that still needs
we
training.
Use the past president. Past president is almost a mentor as well as a co-president.
Exactly. And I do, as a retired person, thankfully in good health, I do a fair amount of traveling. So this was a win-win. And my co-president just retired from her full-time job. So she was more than happy to be a mentor to me and also to fill in when I was absent. So I think our club is so small. We only have 20 members. So we are struggling to motivate and somehow provide like this idea of meetings for potential leaders to plan ahead, get them on the board and get them active. I like that idea. We have
as we do more and more forums, we will tackle different topics like this, and you guys will be the source of where these topics take us. But we only have 15 more minutes, and an hour can go so fast when I'm trying to engage everybody. But feeling in on things is the third thing that you didn't get to see on my slideshow. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. Feeling in on things was the third most important element of motivating employees or volunteers. Why do you think feeling in on things is so important? Mike Mowry, do you have a thought about that?
Well, in my prior career, having been in large organizations, and you're a what do you call it? Well, you're just a piece of that. And also being an attorney, a corporate attorney, you know bits and pieces of things that you're working on, but you're maybe unsure of where that's going or yeah, what the larger goal is. And so I think that's, if you don't know what that larger goal is, it may be lacking in motivation. So I think that would be my assumption, is that if people feel like what they're doing has a goal to it, or has some well, yeah, I guess, so they understand what is going on, then I think they're more motivated to work well.
How cleaning those toilets affects the whole organization,
right?
The whole experience, and remember hearing somewhere along the line the need to know basis, that phrase. How motivating is that? Bruce, I haven't heard from you. Unmute yourself. Bruce Allen.
No, I heard you. I think there's a couple. I actually see a difference between acknowledging somebody and thanking somebody, but I feel that people need to be valued, and the way to value them is when they feel as if what their input is actually being listened to. So if you're listening to them, they see the verbal cues, and sometimes just acknowledging, something quick. Hey, I appreciate it. Answering an email. I mean, we've had this discussion. Sometimes people will send things to you and they'll get silence, and you kind of do one of those, hey, did you hear it, read it, or anything else? So sometimes just acknowledging back to them is important. Just making them feel as if they're being heard, I think, is a very powerful motivator. Same thing with keeping involved, asking what they think. What are your thoughts on this thing? You do it at every single meeting. Hey, what do you think about this? So I think when it comes to a personalized interaction, sometimes, as you said before, sitting down, talking about it, and asking, what do you think? And then just listening to their input. And if you can actually enact on it, I think it's very powerful, at least in my thoughts.
Feeling in on things. How about in Metro Club, Laura?
Well, I think it's something that is linked to, and I think this is kind of what Bruce was saying, sort of linked to appreciation or acknowledgement, is to fill people in on what's happening. I think for a lot of people, they're just doing stuff. They don't have a clue of why that's happening, or what's the point of it, and feeling that you have some understanding, or I think it makes people feel special. And not everybody wants to do that. Some people really do just want to be told what to do. We have a task. We're going to fill these boxes with food. I'm going to come on this day. I'm going to fill the boxes, and then I'm going to go play golf. That's really all I want. And some other people want to know, gee, how do we get this food, and how do we get more of it? And can we include some other people? And is there another project that can piggyback into this? So people will tell you, I think, in their own way, what it is they want either to be acknowledged for, how they want to be acknowledged. I think you have to listen with your eyes, your ears, your nose. I mean, people will tell you how they want to be a participant, and being able to capture that, I think, is really important. So filling in on something. If I feel that I'm a part of something, I'm going to put more effort into it. If I'm just stuffing envelopes, I'm going to do that the same way. But that's all I want to do.
I see you, Bruce. I see you. Unmute, buddy.
I'm unmuted. What's my favorite quote? If you want something to be important, or you want to be important to them, find out what's important to them and make it important to you.
I love that quote.
So I think
I stole it.
I think Laura just hit the nail on the head, is the fact that they're going to tell you, find out what's important to them, and then make it important to you. And I think you'll get a better reaction. And Laura said that. I just re-quoted her.
Yeah, now that's a good one. Brannigan, unmute yourself and tell us what your dog thinks about all this.
Well, Snickers. I think we've hit a lot of the points. It's really just a matter of finding out, what is important to them and making it important to us. I mean, I know I'm kind of, re-saying what has already been said, but, that's really what it is. I mean, we got to think about ourselves too. I mean, what's important to us, it does matter if it feels like or is important to someone else too. So it's kind of my 2 cents.
Ask, listen, and then act, right? Because that's finding out, making it important to you. You have to do something that they feel heard, because going, isn't quite there. Let's see. Let's hear from Marty one more time.
I have a very simple thing. It's transparency with everything, and don't complain unless you want to get involved. And so I get involved in a lot of things because I complain about a lot of things. And so
this is the way we end up in Rotary leadership.
I'm used. I'm not
Nelson got a headache over that one.
Words as I used to be involved in, but I'm involved in lots of things because I feel like I don't always agree with the direction they're going or whatever. So I just feel that I have to have a spot at the table to put my 2 cents in to help, drive the ship. And so being in the know is very important. Transparency is very important to me. I'm transparent with everything I do in my business, down to every dollar that people make or I give or we do whatever with. It's just that's how I am very successful with what I do, and I keep everybody in the know, and I like to be in the know. It's that simple.
Yeah. No, that's so true. I could riff on that theme, but I don't have time, and I want to hear more from you all. Couple of take-home messages from a couple of you, and then I want to popcorn out some ideas for further leadership forums. The next one's going to be difficult conversations, but then Amy needs to be able to put together another poll for what should we talk about after that. So first, take-home ideas, anything that you want to reiterate. Nelson, would you mind summing up your thoughts? You're always a deep thinker.
Actually, I'm truly impressed with a lot of the thoughts that were shared here this afternoon. I think all of you have a great deal of foresight and appreciation for the people that you work with, the people that you volunteer with, and the people that you lead. All of you are, by definition, therefore, excellent leaders. So don't stop where you're at. Keep going. The other thing is that this is now like your classmates, if you will, right? You all were in this class together, and reach out to them. Some folks might have some ideas that might help your situation. If you shared some challenges, and I think that sitting down with folks and saying, hey, I have this issue. Did you have that issue? And if so, how'd you get by it? How'd you get over it? Not that the answer is always in the room. I'm not a fan of that saying, but the answer is it's not always in the room. But it's through collaboration, through communication, and through being open and inquisitive. I think that together most problems can be solved.
We have resources in each other. Patrick Mickleberry aired some frustration, for lack of a better word, with getting people to step into the president-elect roles. And I know you've got some clubs that are struggling in your area. If you have some advice for Patrick, look him up in DACDB and give him a call and cheer him on. There'll be times then he'll be doing that for us too. So, we're all in this boat together, and the higher we can buoy each other up, the the loftier, we haven't peaked yet. I think somebody said that. Ideas for further leadership workshops. What other things should we tackle? This was motivation. Next is difficult conversations. Not that anybody ever has that, but popcorn out some ideas. Unmute yourself and just throw some stuff out, and I'm going to take notes. Everything's going swimmingly.
Maybe
Membership, public image.
What do you think
running
of
meetings,
district resources?
District resources.
Delegation.
Okay.
Chris, how about intergenerational communication?
Oh.
So you have you know, the apostles in your club, and
that's a nice way to say it.
And you're trying to recruit Gen X or Gen Z, and you realize very quickly that they don't speak in the same way, and that what's important to one group may not be as important to the other. So which group prevails, and how do you find language that can bridge the distance between the babies and the elders?
Thank you. How about George? How about Mike Mowry? What do you guys think for topics?
Actually, I really like Michael's topic he just brought up. A perfect example is I'm the chair for our PR committee, and we do all the social media posts. And you can tell the style of my post versus a couple of younger people. I mean, there's no disguising who's writing those posts.
I would agree with,
social?
yeah, I would agree with both of those. I think we have some challenges with our just the amount of social media that we get out there, and there's always that divide between the younger people who maybe in their sleep they can put out 5 different posts that they want to get out, whether other people are interested or not. But that's easy, whereas some of us either don't have the desire or the knowledge to be able to communicate well in social media. So
yeah, the interest. Yeah. Brannigan, what are you thinking would be a good topic?
I think events and membership growth. We had great growth the past couple years, but we've kind of dipped down this year. So there's that, and then also kind of our our staple events that we have. For us, we have the Daddy-Daughter Dance that's coming up. 10th annual. We've got the Fairgates that we've done for years. We've got the Berries, and all of those are like great staples. But there's a part of me coming in that's like, I already have a pretty full plate, and so there's a part of me that wants to like maybe improve on what's been already laid out and not introduce a whole bunch of new stuff, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully commit or fully perform, in that position. So, maybe 3 things. So, current events where we maybe make them better or we add to them, or, membership growth as far as, bringing in, like one of my goals is to bring in more diverse, membership from the community. And then, just trying to figure out how much we want to take on. How much should we take on? What do we, do we want to be remembered for something? Do we want to make an impact, or do we just want to, or maybe do those things, but also just improve what we've already been doing, so.
All right, but I'm going to have to cut us off, and I wasn't done with you guys all. I was going to hear from Robbie and Marty again, and Patrick. Patrick, you threw in district resources, but this gives us a few to start with. Did you get those, Amy? So we could do another poll next time. And And we'll see what, we'll give it a couple more and then we'll ask you the same question again. So we'll always have a nice full tube of ideas of what else would be beneficial to you guys to talk about, beneficial to all concerned. So in the interest of time, I'm going to let you go. Check out the chat. There's some things in there. Usually I save it. And if you click on chat and go to the top 3 dots,
it's recorded, so I'll have it and I'll post it with you all don't have to worry about it.
Okay. If you look at District 5110 YouTube channel, you'll find one playlist for membership and one playlist that's brand new for leadership that has the AI forum, and it has how to facilitate a meeting and how to get into DACDB and RI. So those are already loaded in, and this one will be too. Thanks, you guys. And we'll see you on, Amy, when's the next one?
It's in the chat, February 17th at 4.
Look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for coming.
Up now, so go for it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.